When I'm done with my videos here, I'm going to save a Desmos file for you. So the floor function will be on there, which is also known as the greatest integer less than function. But I'm going to put an absolute value function on here right now. So let's get rid of this guy and let's go look for the absolute value function. This doggone thing, I don't know what this is all about. And so I come, oh, you know what? It's actually not in the, well, it might be in the functions too, but it's on this calculator. It's right over here. So you just have to hit that button right. Let me show you again. That one right there, that puts the absolute value bars on the screen. You put absolute value of X, okay, it'll graph it. You could call it Y equals, right? You can make it look like, it has a Y value here. You could make it look like function notation, F of X, right? What is the benefit of doing F of X? Well, in the next line, I could put a table in here, right? And then over here, I could say, hey, I want to run a bunch of X values through my function up there. So all I have to do is something like this. Now I could go, hey, what's one on my function? Oh, yeah, absolute value of one is one. How about negative one? What's that do? Oh, negative one's positive one? What is it doing? What's the absolute value function doing? It's it's stripping off the negative on the X and giving you the positive value. Let's try another one. How about negative 2? Negative 2 gives me positive 2. How about negative 4.5? Right? Oh, it gives me 4.5. So what situations would you want this? If you were designing some software for UPS or something like that, um, we can dive into all different kinds of scenarios where they use absolute value functions, but I think it's overcomplicating things for now. All we need to know is that this is what the absolute value function looks like. This is called the parent function. So I haven't done any kind of transformation to it, and it's probably not very useful in the real world if it's just the parent function. So sometimes I need to multiply it by 2 or something like that, do a vertical stretch to it. Sometimes that's actually a horizontal compression since it's inside the absolute values. That we don't need to get into that right now. And then if we go like plus 3, we could move the function up 3 spots, or we could move it down 3 spots, right? So that's what mathematicians do. They fit functions to more complex scenarios in the real world. And so this is all you need to know right now, is that this is the absolute value function, and if it has no transformation done to it at all, it's called the parent function. Okay, so let's put that down in our notes. What does the absolute value function look like? Okay, so it is y equals absolute value of x. These vertical bars mean absolute value. What does it look like for a graph? Okay, so it's going to look like this. It's going to have y equals negative x. That's actually the negative x function over there. And then y equals positive x over here. So you could define it as a piecewise defined function. You could say, well, I want negative x if x is less than 0, and I want positive x if x is greater than or equal to 0. Now, you don't have to worry about that, but I'm trying to tie, the absolute value function to a piecewise defined function for you. Guys, this is not, super easy stuff. This, don't beat yourself up if this is kind of confusing. I'm going to go and I'm going to try to find an absolute value function right now. I believe number 14 is an absolute value function. Let's take a look. Shoot. Let's try 15. That's 14 is related to 13. Sorry. Oh, here's a greatest integer less than function. No, that's not what we want. So let's go to 17. Come on, where is it? And on those greatest integer functions, you're just plugging them into Desmos, right? You're trying to practice that skill a little bit. Okay, so here's our absolute value function. How are we going to do a problem like this? We're going to go back here and we're going to put x minus 5. Make sure the minus 5 is inside the absolute values right there, right? That's what it said, that minus 5 is inside the bars. Then we got to find which function matches what we just saw in Desmos. Wasn't it this one right here? Right? So that's how I want you doing this homework. You don't have to do anything fancy. I want you plugging them into Desmos and then, looking for the match on McGraw Hill. All right. Good luck, everybody.